Hello and welcome to my what I eat in a day for menopause weight loss. I've just got back from the gym and I always eat a post-workout meal, which for me, that's generally breakfast. So I try to keep it simple because I want to eat within 30 minutes of training. And what I've got here, so I've got oatmeal and I've put that in the microwave with some water, heated it up. Then I've taken it out of the microwave and added a scoop of plant protein powder and I've mixed that with plant milk. Then I've topped it off, you can see there, with banana and blueberries. And blueberries are actually a fantastic hormone balancing food. And the oatmeal, that's going to give me slow release carbohydrates. So it's going to keep me going through the day and replenish my muscles following a workout. I like to eat carbohydrate and I've topped that up with some quick release banana. And then I've also added a scoop of protein powder because it's really important that we get enough protein in our diet as menopausal women, because that's going to help us burn fat. It's actually a really good fat burning food is protein, and it's also going to help with building muscle, which is a really important aspect of building metabolism. My name's Melissa Neal and this channel is all about helping you if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50 and going through menopause. And nutrition is one of the most important things that we need to think about. And I have made a full video on food and balancing hormones, and I will put that up at the end of this video if you want to go into this in more depth. But what we need to be focusing on in a nutshell is hormone balancing foods, getting enough protein in and making sure that our balance of protein, carbohydrates and fats is in the right place. And I'm going to be demonstrating some recipes today that incorporate all those things. But first of all, we're going to go for a shop in my local organic store to get some of the ingredients that we need to cook this food. I'm in my local health food and organic store and it's absolutely great. You can see here there's loads of fresh fruit and vegetables. There's some really good quality ingredients that we need for the kind of food that we're going to prepare. So when we're thinking about menopause, what we want to do is cook with really high quality ingredients. So if we're thinking about plant-based food, try and get the stuff that hasn't been processed too much. Go for organic if you possibly can. And then when you're thinking about things like the meat and the fish, go for high welfare food if you can, or again, organic, and grass-fed is so much better. And when we're thinking about the packaged food that you can see here, if you get that from a whole food organic store, what you're going to find is a lot of the time it's free of processed stuff, so free of chemicals and free of those additives which are going to be really bad for us. When we're going through menopause, we want to eat food that hasn't had too much messing about with, too much processing, too many added sugars, too many artificial sweeteners and colours. That's going to make our hormones go out of balance. It's going to make our symptoms worse, and it's also going to be much harder to lose weight. So I'm going to start off by picking up some of the fresh food, some of the fresh veggies and fruit that I need for my shopping. So we're going to do some sweet potatoes. We're going to be doing a sweet potato and bean curry. So I'm going to need a couple of sweet potatoes for that. Got some fresh ginger here. I'm doing a curry and I'm also doing an Asian dish. So the fresh ginger is going to be really great for that, and it's actually really good for us, fresh ginger. And I'm going to go for some fresh chilies as well here. So pick up a few of those. I'm going to go for broccoli because broccoli has some really good anti-inflammatory properties in it, and so does pepper. So I'm going to have, I quite like red pepper, so I'm going to go for a red pepper there. I'm going to put in some raspberries because raspberries and any kind of berries They're a great anti-inflammatory food. Got some lovely spinach here. I'm picking up this plant-based coconut yogurt because I'm making a dish with oats and I'm going to use this on the side instead of standard yogurt. But you could use standard yogurt, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to pick up some of these chickpeas here, and I've noticed these look quite interesting. There's some black chickpeas, so we'll have a go with those because we're going to be making a veg curry using some chickpeas as well. And rather than buying coconut tins, I like to buy them in this carton because you can use it for so many things. It's going to be much lower in fat than taking your coconut milk out of a tin, and it's really versatile. You can use it in things like your oats, you can use it in curries. I'm going to be cooking with this 70% dark chocolate, so I bought a bar here. We're just going to be using a small amount, but dark chocolate is absolutely amazing. But you should go for the 70% or above, maybe the 80%. It's really got some anti-inflammatory properties, and if you want something sweet, it's a really good way of doing it without kind of ruining your health goals or your weight loss goals. I'm going to be using black rice today for a stir-fried dish. You don't have to use black rice. White rice is perfectly acceptable. When we're thinking about grains, it's really good if you can go for whole grains because they are going to keep you fuller for longer. We're going to cook the first dish, which is salmon and broccoli stir fry. This is really simple. I'm using some chopped up salmon. I've got 400 grams there, so I'm going to make 4 portions of this dish, and my son is actually going to eat this as well. I've got the ginger, the chilies, and I've also got some spring onion, and I'm going to chop all those up. I've got some soy sauce and garlic paste. And I've started boiling the black rice that we bought earlier, so that needs about 30 minutes of boiling, and then you drain it after boiling. And I've got some broccoli there that I've already steamed, so that's ready. I'm going to marinate the salmon in soy sauce and a little bit of garlic. So I'm using garlic paste, which it just hasn't got that really strong taste like the fresh garlic. So I've chopped vegetables and we're ready to cook everything now. And what I'm going to do to start off with is I'm going to spray some light spray oil into the wok. You could use normal oil, it doesn't really matter, but the light spray oil is just going to make it very, very light. And I'm just going to start off by frying these vegetables. You want to give those a good 5 minutes, just lightly frying. I'm going to add in some soy sauce there, just to stop it sticking, because we haven't got a lot of oil in here, so it can tend to kind of stick a little bit. And then I'm going to add in the salmon now. Turn the heat up and stir fry that around. Once the salmon is cooked through a little bit, I'm going to add the broccoli. I can see there the salmon is almost cooked through, so we want to stop there and just put a lid on it. It will carry on cooking through once we've turned the heat off. So I've drained the black rice there, and I'm just going to take off the lid from the stir fry. I'm weighing out here 100 grams of the black rice. And then with the stir fry, we're just going to divide it into sort of 4 portions. So I'm going to put a few pieces of broccoli there, and then make sure I've got some, it's going to be around about 100 grams of the salmon, and then add some of the spices in there. I'm also going to actually make some of these into meal prep meals, so I've got them kind of up ahead of when I need them. It really helps if you prep more than you need and then you have a couple of meals for later on in the week. I'm ready to eat this now. I'm really hungry. I've given my son his portion. He's actually having his with noodles and I'm having mine with the black rice. Oh, it tastes so good. You can taste the flavours of the chili peppers, the ginger, the garlic. Really good. I'm gonna make my protein and oat bars, which I've done a few times on my what I eat in a day. But this time I'm gonna put some of this dark chocolate that we bought in the health food store. It's 76% cocoa. We're gonna start by weighing out the oats. So I'm gonna do 160 grams of oats, or you call them oatmeal in the USA. Then I'm gonna be using this plant protein powder. We're gonna do 4 scoops of that. We're gonna add this plant milk. I've got coconut milk. You could use any plant milk. And I'm just gonna add this so that it's a sticky consistency. I've chopped up the chocolate into pieces. You could use chocolate chips or chocolate buttons and then you wouldn't need to chop them up. I'm just mixing that through now. Don't need to mix it up a lot. We're just going to put it into a baking tin now. I added 25 grams of the coconut yogurt I bought earlier and the raspberries. The final dish of the day I'm making is a plant-based dish, and I'm going to be using the chickpeas that we bought earlier, and I'm just going to put a lot of vegetables, and I've got 300 grams of sweet potatoes. So I'm making 4 portions, so I'm going to use the 2 cans of chickpeas, which is kind of 800 grams. You're going to get about 200 grams each of chickpeas, which is kind of what you need if you're going to get enough protein in. So you can use any chickpeas or beans for this. You will get a lot of carbohydrate in that as well. So you don't need to add in too much carbohydrate. I've got 300 grams of sweet potato that I'm going to add into the whole dish. And that's it, because there's plenty of carbohydrate already in chickpeas. I'm frying the onions in a teaspoon of coconut oil, and I'm now going to start adding the veg in. So I've got a bit of cauliflower here. Cauliflower is absolutely fantastic in curries. I've got some chili peppers, I've got some ginger, some fresh grated ginger, and we're going to put the sweet potato in. Going to put it all in, and the sweet potato will sort of thicken the sauce, so you could use white potato as well. And now I'm going to add the black chickpeas and the plain chickpeas. Those chickpeas have been drained. I'm going to add some turmeric, some garam masala, some coriander powder, and some garlic paste. And then I'm going to add in the coconut milk that we bought. I'm going to bring that to the boil. I'm going to leave it for 30 or 40 minutes, and when those veggies have cooked through a bit more, we're going to add some of the other veggies that cook a bit more quickly. The curry's ready now, so I'm going to get that into a bowl, and what we want to do is kind of have 4 portions of that. I'm going to top that with some spinach, because we don't want to cook it because it just goes really soggy. And then I'm also going to put on some nutritional yeast, so we want about 25 grams of that. And that's just going to add some extra protein in. I divided the rest pressed into boxes so that they could be stored in the fridge and eaten on another day. Let me know in the comments section whether you found this What I Eat in a Day helpful and want to see more. And check out my high protein meal plan programme, and I'll link that in the description. What do you think of it?
Very nice.